What do you think? Are you ready? Are you ready? We're just 10 days. We are 10 days shy of 2024. Wow. It's amazing. Seems like it anyway. We're finishing up the Slight Edge. You've got 4 chapters, roughly 4 chapters left. We will finish this book before the end of the year, and we'll start a new book. What we'll do is, as soon as we finish this one, we will take a break for the rest of 2024, and then we'll come back fresh on January the 2nd, right, which will be a Tuesday. No, on January the 1st. On January the 1st, I will start a new book, and I will figure that out. No, let's do 10x. Let's do the 10x rule by Grant Cardone, right? The 10x rule. That'll be the next book that we look at. Okay, starting on January the 1st, Monday. Don't worry about the holiday, right? Right? We'll start the new year off right. So, chapter 9, the faces of the Slight Edge. So, when he says the faces of the Slight Edge, he talks about the different aspects of the Slight Edge, that each one represents a power, right? He says each one of these represents a power that once you recognize it in your life, you can harness it in the pursuit of your dreams. And these are momentum, completion, habit, reflection, and celebration, right? So 2, 3, 4, 5 faces of the Slight Edge. And he talks about, first of all, harnessing the power of momentum. You know, if you are prospecting and you are setting appointments, when's the best time to call? When is the best time to call for an appointment? Is right after you set another appointment, right after you set an appointment, right? Because you got this momentum going, right? The Slight Edge is your optimal rate of growth, right? Simple disciplines compounded over time. That's how the tortoise won the race, right? If you're familiar with the parable of the tortoise and the hare, right? And it's how you get to be a winner also, right? You think about these people, they want everything fast. They want it now. Get rich quick. Get in the fast lane. The person standing in front of the microwave going, hurry up, come on. A person standing in front of the elevator going, boom, pushing the button, right? Doesn't make it come any faster, right? The optimal rate of growth is far less than the fastest possible growth, right? When growth becomes excessive, like in cancer, the system itself will seek to compensate by slowing down, and potentially put the whole organization's survival at risk in the process, right? Remember that the tortoise won the race by plugging away, right? You will win the race by plugging away. Think about the story of the tortoise and the hare, right? What's the real point, right? And the point is slow and steady wins the race, right? Slow and steady wins the race, but there's not any special virtue to moving slowly, right? There's nothing inherently good about slowness, and it's just as possible to move too slow as it is to move too quickly. The key word in the story is not slow. What is it? Steady, right? It's not slow, it's steady. Steady wins the race, right? You can go fast. As long as you continue to go. The problem with that is it's unsustainable, right? If you go all out all the time, it's unsustainable, right? And so it's better to pace yourself, right? To pace yourself and to be able to go the long run, right? It's far more effective to take one business building action every day for a week than it is to try to take 7, 10, or a dozen, 2 dozen all at once, and then take the rest of the week off. right? It's better to do one thing a day, every day, than it is to try to do 10 things on Monday and take the rest of the day off, the rest of the week off, right? And why is that? Well, part of it is momentum, right? If you stop, every time you start, it's hard to start, right? It's just hard to start. It's hard to get yourself geared back up and inspired to get back into action. But if you do it every day, it becomes part of your routine and becomes part of who you are, right? It doesn't take this all out effort every time, right? It is a slow and, that slow and steady thing, right? So momentum, right? Think about pushing a car, right? Sorry, it's pushing a car, right? When you start pushing a car, man, it's hard at first, right? It just takes everything to get it moving. But once it gets going, your momentum, but when you stop, man, you got to start, you got to do it all over again, right? So go slow in order to go fast, right? The slight edge is a flow that moves at its own pace, automatically homing in on optimal growth rates, right? So part of the slight edge is learning to go with the flow, right? The slight edge is always moving, right? It's moving at its own speed, with or without your consent, whether you're aware of it or not, right? It's easy to stay active, but it's also easy not to. And if you stop, it won't kill you today, but that simple error in judgment compounded over time will destroy the goal that you're after, right? It'll destroy you being able to get the goal that you're after. Okay. So momentum. The second phase, completion. Harness the power of completion, right? Another way you gather momentum and harness it to your advantage is by practicing an activity called completion, right? Incomplete things in your life, right? Unpaid bill, unpaid taxes, borrowing something, a book or a tool from somebody that you didn't return, right? Not having said, I love you, or I'm sorry, or thank you. Having unfinished projects, unkept promises. Each and every incomplete thing in your life exerts a draining force on you, sucking the energy of accomplishment and success out of you as surely as a vampire stealing your blood. When something is in your mind, right, it is distracting. It is taking away from your ability to focus on something else, right? If there's this thing in the back of your mind that keeps nipping away at you, it's taking your focus, right? Because we cannot multitask. I don't care. People talk about multitasking. You can't do it. You can only focus on one thing at a time. You can switch back and forth, but you can only focus on one thing at a time. And so getting it out of your head, putting it on paper, right? Or into a program that these are my projects. These are my projects, right? It's out of my head, right? It's on a list someplace, right? Keeps me from having to deal with it in my mind constantly, right? David Allen has another good series of books called Getting Things Done, right? That talks about getting stuff out of your head. So every incomplete promise, commitment, agreement saps your strength, blocks your momentum, inhibits your ability to move forward, to progress and improve, right? So maybe you take one of those things and finish it, right? And finish it, or at least get it out of your mind onto a list, right? All you can do. There's Art Williams, was an insurance salesman. He's got a speech. You could Google it, called "Just Do It." If you Google Art Williams, "Just Do It," it's pretty good. But he's written a book too called "All You Can Do Is All You Can Do, but All You Can Do Is Enough." He says, go find something that you can do and do that. Make a phone call, write a letter, give 15 minutes to completing something every day, right? 15 minutes. As we go through this, I constantly come up with other ideas from other books, right? And I think it's Darren Hardy that has a schedule that when he's sitting down to do his um, whatever it is, I'm sitting down to do my daily devotional or whatever, he has a pad of paper sitting beside him, so that when things come to mind, right? Things come to mind, you just jot it down on a piece of paper so it's out of your mind. Because if you don't, you'll continue to think about that instead of doing your devotional work or your whatever other thing it is. Something pops in your mind, you got a list. I'm gonna write this down, right? Um, um, so think about what incomplete thing, what project can you bring to completion, right? And remember, it's easy to do. 15 minutes a day, 15 minutes, whatever, I'm working on this project to get it done. But it's also easy not to do. If you don't do it today, it's not going to destroy you today, but guess what? It will get you, right? Harness the power of completion, right? Next is harness the power of habit, right? We take habits for granted, but we have good habits and we have bad habits, right? Bad habits you try to break, but you can't, and good habits you wish you had, but you don't. Habits are enormous, right? They keep you from having to think about things. It just becomes part of what you are, right? Your habits are what will propel you up the success curve or down the failure curve. The individual that wants to reach the top must appreciate the might of the force of habit and understand that practices are what create habits, right? Think about, again, Jeff Olson's, I don't know if you call it a credo, whatever. Your philosophy creates your attitude. Your attitude creates your actions create your results, and your results create your life, right? Your habits come from your daily activities compounded over time, right? Brushing your teeth is a habit, right? At least that we hope so, right? Nothing is stronger than habit, right? It is, like good habit, again, good habits, bad habits, smoking, eating candy, right? Not good habits, right? So harness the power of habit, create it, do it over and over again until it becomes just a part of you, right? Here's one that people don't think about a lot. Harness the power of reflection, right? Reflection is so here an example is I've set the goal of reading the entire Bible in whatever time frame. This is just an example. I've set a goal that I'm going to read the entire Bible, and I do. I read. And I did this, right. I did this. I read through the whole Bible. But what I didn't do is set aside time for reflection on what I read. It's the same with the book, right? We can read it, but if we don't take the time to think back, to reflect back on it and say, okay, how does this apply? How can I apply this? What am I going, what, make a plan or whatever. It's not, it doesn't do you any good, right? So being productive and being busy are not necessarily the same thing. Doing things won't create your success. Doing the right things will, right? So have you ever, you think about people, they get up, they work hard, they go to work, they work hard, they love their families, they smile, right? They put smiles on their faces. They do everything they're supposed to do, and they think they had a productive day. But what really happened is they spent their whole day treading water like a duck, swimming upriver, right, against a strong current, right? You just paddling and you're not getting anywhere, right? When somebody tells you, ask somebody how they're doing and they say busy, that means they're not in control, right? They're not in control of their lives. We don't want to spend our lives busy all the time, right? What did you do today? Or what are you going to do today? If you're watching this in the morning, what are you going to do today that's going to have the biggest impact on your business? Do that, right? Do that. Here's a powerful exercise. Instead of writing down what you're going to do, right? Creating a list of what you're going to do today. Instead of doing that, write down at the end of the day what you did do. What action did you take at the end of the day that made you successful, right? Did you read 10 pages of a good book? Did you eat healthy? Did you get some exercise? Did you engage in positive associations? Did you do the things that you need to do to be successful in your business? Did you tell somebody, I love you today? Right? And then at the end of the week, look back over your lists and take inventory, right? What that will do for you, not only will it tell you a lot about the truth of your everyday life, but chances are good that the mere act of recording this daily reflection will have already started changing what you do, right? Because if you write down, I didn't do anything today, maybe tomorrow, that's the thing that's in your mind, right? I didn't do anything yesterday, so today I'm going to do this one thing, right? Harness the power of reflection. Harness the power of celebration, right? When something good happens in your life, celebrate it. Don't spend all week long, right? Don't spend all week long celebrating your success. Celebrate it and then move on, right? Get back to work, right? But treat yourself, right? People who feel good about themselves produce good results, right? This came from the 1 Minute Manager, right? Managers in business. So in the 1 Minute Manager, he said managers and business owners are encouraged to not to walk around catching people doing something wrong, but catch them doing something right, and then acknowledge it on the spot, right? 1 minute praising is what it's called, right? It's easy to forget to catch yourself doing something right, right? Think about, so there's a story about a woman who reached a point in her life. She's in her early 50s. She's starving for affection. She didn't know if she could continue in her marriage. She told her husband how she felt. She said for years she didn't know whether he loved her or not. And he said, I told you I loved you 30 years ago when I married you, right? Nothing's changed, right? The slight edge, right? The slight edge. Tell people that you care about them. I'm thinking about you and I care about you, right? That slight edge power of reflection and acknowledgement, the celebration, right? Celebration of others and celebration for yourself, right? Easy to do? Absolutely. Easy not to do? Absolutely. If you don't do it, is it going to destroy you today? Nope. Right? But that simple error in judgment compounded over time can ruin your chance for success. Okay? So, our key points, chapter 9, the faces of the slight edge, momentum, steady wins the race, right? It's easier to keep going than it is to start over. Completion, each and every incomplete thing in your life or your work exerts a draining force on you, sucking out the energy of accomplishment, right? Take on those incompletions, a little bit at a time, little bite, one bite at a time. How do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. The face of habit, your habits are what propel you, right? And being consistent and doing those seemingly inconsequential things over and over again create a habit, right? The power of reflection, right? Not only do we need to do things, but we need to look back. We need to look back on what we did, right? Doing things won't create your success. Doing things right will. So in the Army, we call it after action review. When we had, when something went on, we did an after action review on everything, right? What went good, right? What could have been better, right? What went good, what went bad, what could have been better, right? And what can we do the next time to make it better, right? After action reviews are important. Surveys, right? If you're working with clients, your client survey is a type of after action review, is a part of your after action review, right? Do those and then reflect on them, right? Don't just do a survey. Don't just ask a client, how'd I do? And then, be done with it. Always ask them, what could I have done better? what one thing in this transaction could I have done better? Because I want to make myself better for all my clients, right? And then finally, celebration. Keep your slide edge activity, your right choices, incremental successes right out in the open where you can see them and you can celebrate them, and then acknowledge those steps, even when they're small, right? If I told myself today I'm going to complete this task, even if I only had to do one little thing to complete it, that's a success, right? Celebrate that, right? So that's it. That's it for today, right? And that's it for the week. The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Remember, we're going to start our new book. All right, we'll finish this up. We'll finish this up next week, Christmas week, and then we'll take the rest of the week off, and we will come back on January the 1st, and we will start the year with the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone, right? So if you don't have it, it's on Amazon. You get it as an audiobook or a regular book, or reach out to Grant Cardone Enterprises. Although if you reach out to Grant Cardone Enterprises, I guarantee you their salespeople are relentless, right? Relentless. So anyway, I hope that you have a fantastic week. And Monday is Christmas Day, and so no book club on Monday. I want you to enjoy your day, your Christmas, your family. If you have family, make sure you reach out and tell somebody that you love them, right? And if you don't have anybody to give a present to, here I am. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I hope that you have a wonderful holiday season, and we will see you on Tuesday, December 26th. Have a great day. Get out there and make today the best day of your life so far. See you Tuesday.